So I'd like to give all praises to the Most High, and today what we're going to look at is the hive mind mentality of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. And now we all know Sodom and Gomorrah is well known for the homosexuality. You know what I mean, that was taking place there, but it was more extreme wickedness that was going on there. And right now we're in the book of Jasher, chapter 19, verse 8, and we're just gonna get into it, man. And it says right here, it says, when a poor man came to their land, they would give him silver and gold, and cause a proclamation in the whole city not to give him a morsel of bread to eat. And if the stranger should remain there some days and die from hunger, not having been able to obtain a morsel of bread, then at his death all the people of the city would come and take the silver and gold which they had given to him. So this was a proclamation out throughout the whole city, man. I mean, so it's kind of like you see right here. They were kind of like playing games with the with the people that came into the city. You know what I mean, they would give them money, but they wouldn't feed them. You know what I mean, so they were all on code, to do all manner of wickedness, man. You know, and that's kind of remind me of, like, what I mean, what these devils is doing right now. What I mean, everybody's on code. You know what I mean, don't talk to this person, stay away from that person. That's a hive mind mentality, man. So we're gonna keep going. So right here, verse 24 said, at that time Lot bare him a daughter, and he called her name Peliath. So I don't think this Peliath is not mentioned in the book of Genesis. You know what I mean? Or in the Bible, I should say. So Lot had a daughter named Peliath. And right here, skip down to verse 25, it says, and a poor man came into the city to seek a maintenance, and he remained in the city some days. And all of the people of Sodom caused a proclamation of their custom not to give this man a morsel of bread to eat until he dropped dead upon the earth. And they did so. And Peliath, the daughter of Lot, saw this man lying in the streets, starved with hunger, and no one would give him anything to keep him alive. And he was just upon the point of death. Right here, verse 27, and it says, her soul was filled with pity on account of the man, and she fed him secretly with bread for many days, and the soul of this man was revived. For when she went forth to fetch water, she would put the bread in the pitcher, and when she came to the place where the poor man was, she took the bread from the pitcher and gave it him to eat. So she did many days. So I'm not going to read the whole thing for you guys. I'm going to fast forward a little bit and just speak. So pretty much, this was their custom to do these things, man. And when they found out that this guy wasn't dying, they were looking at each other like, how come this guy's not dead? Anybody else that was put into this situation would have been dead already. So pretty much they camped out, you know what I mean? And they put spies around where he was at, and they found out that Peleth's daughter was feeding feeding this guy, man. You know what I mean? Who they made a proclamation out to not feed, so you could starve to death. So I'm at verse 34 right here, and it says, and they took Peleth and brought her before their judges, and they said to them, thus did she do, and it is she who supplied the poor man with bread before he did not die all this time. Now therefore declare to us the punishment due to this woman for having transgressed our law. And the people of Sodom and Gomorrah assembled and kindled a fire in the street of the city, and they took the woman and cast her into the fire, and she was burnt to ashes. So that's what they did, man. They killed Lot's daughter because she felt that she was feeding the poor man. I mean, that they were just gonna let starve, man. You know what I mean? And right here in verse 36 it says, and in the city of Adama, there was a woman whom they did like. So they did, the same thing to another woman, But oh man, I mean, they did her even more dirty to me. I mean, a guy came in to the city, and he pretty much asked for a lodging, like, hey, can I stay here? I'm have a long journey. I'm gonna get up in the morning. I'm gonna continue my journey. Can I have a drink of water? Pretty much hospitality. And she said, yeah, all right, you could stay. And look at what the people did to her when they found out, man. And the people of those cities assembled and brought out the young woman and anointed her with honey from head to foot, as the judge had decreed. And they placed her before a swarm of bees, which were then in their hives. And the bees flew upon her and stung her, that her whole body swelled. So, that's what they did to the next woman that, showed somebody else some hospitality, you know what I mean, that had a heart, you know what I mean, in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? Verse 43, he's kind of cut off, but you know what I mean, that woman cried out to the Most High, man. You know what I mean? The servants is being punished for, you know what I mean, for doing good. Right here, the last verse, verse 44. And the Lord was provoked at this, and at all the works of the cities of Sodom, for they had abundance of food, and had tranquility amongst them, and they still would not sustain the poor and the needy. And in those days of their evil doings and sins became great before the Lord. So that's why the Most High really destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, man, because of all manner of wickedness. You see, they said they had abundance of food and tranquility, and they were letting the people starve, man. You know, and you think about that kind of hive mind mentality that the people had not to feed these people because they were afraid of the consequences. You mean, but you know what the scripture says: the righteous are as bold as lions. So she went out there, they went out there, the righteous saints went out there and fed them anyway, and they suffered the consequences, man. You know I mean, now think about how stupid that sounds today, man. It's the same stuff going on right now, man. The same stuff going on right now today. You know what I mean? The hive mind mentality of Sodom and Gomorrah, man, it's still in effect. You know what I mean? And I'm just glad, you know what I mean, when we look back on these things, man, look, I was one of them saints that stepped out, man. You know what I mean? That didn't conform to that bull crap. You know what I mean? And the Most High is going to destroy this place for the same thing, man. I mean, for all manner of wickedness that they're doing. Come on, man. So, this is the kind of stuff they were doing. It wasn't just, you know what I mean, homosexuality, man. So, I hope this is edifying, man. All praises to the Most High, man.